Breaking right now, Vice President Harris's campaign, which just began today, has announced a whopping $81 million fundraising haul since she entered the race. That is the largest 24-hour total of any candidate in U.S. history.
The Maga Republicans are having a complete meltdown right now over Vice President Kamala Harris becoming the Democrats' presumptive nominee for president. And just moments ago, the Maga Republican VP pick of Donald Trump, the total phony and fraud, JD Vance, was giving one of his first speeches, this one in Middletown, Ohio, and it was just so boring and weird that Fox had to even cut away from it. People are second guessing now, should JD Vance have even been picked? Hearing that Donald Trump is like, why did I pick this guy? Take a look right here. This is JD Vance, and then watch Fox cut away from it. Watch this.
It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good. I love you guys. But
we prepared this video at the MeidasTouch network about JD Vance's speech in Ohio, and we said, hey, Donald, giving off those Jeb Bush vibes that you so admired. Here, watch this.
It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good. I love you guys. But
I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Now, before JD Vance spoke, if you want to see the complete and utter meltdown that MAGA is having, they're now saying at these Trump campaigns that they will be declaring a civil war if Donald Trump were to lose. We know, folks. I mean, you did a January 6th insurrection, and we know that you threaten this all the time because you're a bunch of losers. But here is at the beginning of the campaign event today, you have the MAGA Republican speaker who was introducing JD Vance, who's a state senator from Ohio, this is a Republican, threatening civil war. I just want you to watch their behavior. Play this clip.
Fight! We got time. Come on. Hey, we are in the fight for the soul of our nation. We are in a fight for our kids and our grandkids, a fight that we can never imagine. I believe wholeheartedly Donald Trump and Butler County's JD Vance are the last chance to save our country politically. I'm afraid if we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save the country, and it will be saved. It's the greatest experiment in the history of mankind. And if we come down to a civil war, I'm glad we got people like Schmitty and the Bikers for Trump on our side.
And folks, that's who they are. And that's why I always say here on the MeidasTouch network, whether you're liberal, progressive, independent, or a mainstream conservative, or like a real Republican, not this MAGA, you should look at that and say, wait a minute, at Trump campaigns, they're declaring civil war. They're trying to instigate civil war, or saying if Trump loses, there will be a civil war. How un-American is that? And they're screaming, fight, fight, fight. It's the exact opposite of what this country needs. And that shouldn't even be a political position. You should just search your heart and say, what in the world is that? By the way, we're saying, what in the world is that? Then you have MAGA Mike Johnson going out, and he says, look, we will be bringing litigation to stop Vice President Kamala Harris. We're going to be rolling out lawsuits because, again, whether they're threatening civil war or litigation, they're going to try to use all levers to institute Project 2025. These are losers, and sore losers, who engage in this type of behavior repeatedly. Here's MAGA Mike Johnson.
And in some of the states, there are impediments to just switching someone out like that. 14 million people went through the process and chose this nominee, Joe Biden. Now a handful of people have gotten together and decided he's no longer suitable. That's not how this system works. They are violating democratic principles. And I think that's a real problem, and I think there'll be a lot said about that in the days ahead.
And then, of course, he's not even consistent about it, because right as he's saying that, he then goes, actually, we prefer to run against Vice President Kamala Harris. We're ready. We're ready to, we like her at the top of the ticket. So you're going to try to file lawsuits. You like her at the top of the ticket. You've got people at Trump campaigns threatening civil war. Hey, other media other than MeidasTouch, than this network, can you cover this stuff, please? Can you just show the American people this stuff, please? It'd be nice. There's other independent media networks that do it, but corporate media, hello, play this clip.
It should be tougher to beat.
She will not be tougher to beat. No, not at all. We're excited about Kamala being at the top of the ticket.
And by the way, Vice President Kamala Harris has raised now over $100 million in just a little bit over 24 hours since she became the presumptive Democratic nominee, and Republicans just simply can't handle it. By the way, here's a great photo by this account. They show JD Vance over here, and they go, I can't explain it, but he looks like the guy at the bachelor party that doesn't know any of the groomsmen. Just a funny line. It's a funny observation. And I intuitively know exactly what they mean by that. But also, if you look at JD Vance's background, he claims he's from Appalachia. He's really not. He's from the suburbs of Ohio. His whole life story, the hillbilly elegy, it's like a total fraud and a total scam. And he worked in Silicon Valley after going to law school. He worked for Peter Thiel, made a lot of money doing that, then came back to Ohio, started a sham charity that claimed to address the opioid epidemic in the state, but actually just exploited people, took money, didn't give it to the community, funded a researcher who actually works with Purdue Pharma to put opioids back into the community. And basically he used it as a sham to hire political consultants and to launch his political career. I mean, it's just an utterly pathetic human being. And so I suppose a perfect pick for Donald Trump. Also, he previously called Donald Trump America's Hitler. Can we just show you what Kamala Harris-Trump debate is going to look like? Because I went back to our archives here at the MeidasTouch Network. This was the debate between Harris and Pence. And we released this video October 8th of 2020. So I'm pumped up. What about you? Here, play this clip.
This is important. I want to add, but Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. It is asking too much of the people.
Susan, we talked about
it is asking too much of the people.
Well, Susan, thank you. Although I would like to go back.
I think we need to move on to the issue
but I would like to go back.
In 1864.
Well, I'd like you to answer the question.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Okay.
We still learn from it, and I think the American people, I want to say again, can be proud
Vice President Pence, I'm sorry,
of what we have done. She has
15 seconds because
I got to have more than that. Look,
I'm sorry, but Vice President Pence, you've had more time than she's had.
The truth and the fact is, Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
He said he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Wait.
I'm speaking. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
And so while MAGAs are threatening civil war and lawsuits and whining, what do we see? The Democrats. I see energy. I see a revitalized, energetic group of Democrats. Here's Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries kind of mocking the MAGA meltdown. Let me show you. Play the clip.
In terms of my Republican colleagues, former President Donald Trump and extreme MAGA Republicans are having a meltdown right now. A complete and total meltdown. Why? Because their presidential nominee is unpopular. The extreme MAGA Republican policies are unpopular, including trying to impose a nationwide abortion ban on the American people. And their Project 2025 is unpopular. They're having a meltdown right now. All we want to do as Democrats is have a debate about moving the country forward and continuing to put people over politics.
Here he is one more time talking about the energy that exists right now. Let's play it.
Leader
Jeffries, first, will you endorse Kamala Harris? And then I have one other question for you.
Well, Leader Schumer and I are scheduled to meet with Vice President Harris shortly. The House came back into session today. The Senate does not come back into session tomorrow. I'm excited for that meeting. And let me say this, that Vice President Kamala Harris has excited the community. She's excited the House Democratic Caucus, and she's exciting the country. And so I'm looking forward to sitting down with her in person in short order with Leader Schumer, and we'll have more to say about the path forward as soon as that meeting concludes.
And while you're just kind of watching that, I mean, I don't know about you, but I am looking forward to showing you the contrast between Vice President Harris and Donald Trump. This was a video that we made, and I want to show it to you. Donald Trump in steep mental decline. Just take a watch of this video, and things are going to get interesting. Here, play the clip.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, "Sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal."
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by rape.
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela? It's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words.
The failing New York Times by anonymous, really anonymous.
Struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
Man, I love that video. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.